The Tetris Effect, when patterns rewrite the mind. Close your eyes at night, hoping for silence, but instead your mind lights up. Blocks fall from nowhere, vivid, geometric, impossibly bright. They rotate, lock into place, vanish. You're not holding a controller, you're not looking at a screen, and yet the game continues in your head. This isn't madness. It's not a glitch in cognition. It's something real, something repeatable. It has a name: the Tetris Effect. More than a curiosity, it's a window, a view into how repetition reshapes the neural architecture of the brain, a doorway into how the things we do most often begin to do something back. Originally named for a classic game of falling blocks, the Tetris Effect describes what happens when a task is repeated so frequently, so intensely, it begins to invade your subconscious. It manifests in dreams, in micro-imaginations, in the veil between waking and sleeping. You blink and it's there. You rest, and the pattern plays itself. But this effect isn't about Tetris. Not really. It's about any repeated pattern. Stack boxes long enough in a warehouse and the world becomes a game of alignment. Drive the same route every day and your dreams twist roads into racetracks. Spend hours coding and your thoughts take on the rhythm of logic. This is the mind, drunk on repetition, still dancing with the patterns it's been fed. In the 1990s, researchers began to study this effect in earnest. They discovered something uncanny. People who played Tetris for hours reported seeing the game in their sleep. But not just seeing, feeling it. Dreams filled with falling shapes. Hypnagogic imagery, those fleeting visuals that flicker just before sleep, saturated with the pulse of gameplay. Even blind participants who played using touch and spatial sound reported the same experience. The Tetris Effect wasn't visual, it was cognitive, it was structural. The brain, ever adaptable, wasn't just remembering, it was optimizing, rehearsing, automating. It was becoming the game. This is procedural memory in its rawest form. The mechanism that lets us ride bikes, type fluently, play instruments. It's the brain learning by doing, until the doing becomes part of who we are. But here's the twist. This doesn't only happen in sleep, it leaks into waking life. Have you ever walked through a grocery store after a long game session and started mentally organizing the shelves? Have you driven after playing a racing game and felt like your reflexes belong to someone else? Faster, sharper, more automatic? That too is the Tetris Effect. The pattern persists, even when it no longer makes sense, and it's not always gentle. Soldiers emerging from combat simulations report hearing phantom gunfire in their dreams. Musicians feel rhythms in their limbs long after the music stops. Dancers lie in bed and feel choreography echoing through their bodies. Sometimes it inspires, sometimes it intrudes. There's a strange beauty in it, yes, but also something quietly terrifying. Because repetition doesn't just strengthen a memory, it rewires identity. The things we do again and again begin to sculpt how we see. And once we see the world in patterns, we can't unsee them. But what if this isn't just neural efficiency? What if it's a deeper mechanism embedded in consciousness itself? Imagine a universe built on pattern recognition. A simulation that learns from frequency, where repetition doesn't just shape neurons, but reality. What if thoughts repeated often enough don't just change the brain? They change the simulation's rendering of the world around you. A sort of cognitive gravity. Looped attention bending the interface. Could enough mental repetition make certain outcomes more likely? Could reality begin to respond not just to action, but to habit? It's a strange thought. That dreams could be predictive. That behavior could echo across timelines. That the brain, in looping a task, might begin to anchor it outside the mind as well. But even within known science, the implications are profound. Visualization, mental rehearsal, pattern immersion. Athletes use it, artists harness it. Chess masters build entire libraries of intuitive motion, not through guesswork, but through neural saturation. The effect becomes a tool, not just to perform, but to transform. And so we arrive at the deeper metaphor. The Tetris Effect is not about a game. It's about life. What you do repeatedly becomes who you are. What you think repeatedly becomes how you see. Every action, every focus, every small habit you let take root. It writes itself into the source code. You are not only made of what you remember, you are made of what you repeat. So the next time you close your eyes and see motion, rhythm, structure, ask yourself, what else has etched itself into your mind? What thoughts have become reflex? What beliefs are being practiced in the background of your silence? Because eventually the game stops being something you play, and it becomes something that plays you. Not because the mind is broken, but because it's brilliant, and because it listens. And every loop you allow, it listens a little more.